We decided to do groups to start with to help with numbers. They had about 40 seconds max before we'd keep swapping. It was like Christmas Day on repeat for me. I loved it. Hi, I'm Bonnie Blue. I slept with over 1,000 men, including probably your husband and your son. As a child, I was quite confident. I was a dancer, always loved entertaining. Did get picked on a little bit at school and mainly hung around with like much older girls, and the guys I got along with just a lot better than I did the girls. I never even considered myself being an adult star or working in the adult industry, mainly down to confidence, and I didn't enjoy sex how I do now. So the idea of having sex and that much of it was not like, it was of zero interest to me. I started by scrolling on TikTok and I kept seeing, I guess my first way into adult work was camming, speaking, but these girls, all different body shapes, types, different backgrounds, saying how they was earning money from speaking to guys on their laptops at any time of the day. And my husband at the time was always been very open in terms of communication. I spoke to him about it straight away, and he probably was listening and watching the TikToks with me. So it wasn't okay, I want to sit you down because I want to, work in the adult industry. And he was so focused on my happiness. He knew, okay, the options was I go back into recruitment, sitting in an office 9 to 5, or I sit at home and I do camming, and it means I can go to the beach during the day and I have more control over my earnings. So it was never a question of, okay, should I do it? It was okay, when should I start? 2 weeks after that, I was earning a lot of money on camming, like 4,000 to 5,000 AUD a week. And that was instantly life-changing for me. So I was like, okay, wow, I can do this as a career. At the time I was enjoying it, but I'd still say it was 60% for the money. And I was like, wow, if I do this, I'm gonna be earning money. But you can only be doing camming if you're literally sat there in front of the camera. Whereas if I was to sell videos like OnlyFans, I could be earning money whilst I'm sleeping or whilst I'm at the beach or on a dog walk. So 2 weeks into that, so start of June, I decided to set up OnlyFans. In the last 30 days, I made 1.5 million. I'd like to be earning 5 million a month. But if that ever came at a cost where my pleasure went or my enjoyment went, I would not be chasing it. It's not, the goal is happiness, freedom, and doing what I want to do. But obviously I've got targets along the way. I'm also a businesswoman that loves supporting my family and other people. So yes, I do care about money, but that is not the whole goal and purpose here. I've created the game, basically. I have changed and completely changed the industry, to put it simply. No one was doing what I've done. I started these, stunts, that's what we're going to call them, back in November, and I've continued to do them every few months. Nothing has changed, no matter what other people are doing in the industry. It's I do this because I enjoy it, which is why you always see me so happy and passionate about the work I do. And near enough every month I do some sort of stunt, and I'll continue to do that. So when I did the students in the UK, I actually started with a thing called Schoolies in Australia, and that's basically the same as Freshers Week, but just the Australia version. And my inbox was flooded with these schoolies saying, hey, I really want to sleep with you and make a video. And at the time I was only making fake content. And when I say fake content, I mean with other adult content creators that are taking perhaps tablets. The videos are over 2 hours long, but are edited into a 30, 45 minute video where you don't see all the stop starts. You don't see where we've struggled to get into a position, or where we've perhaps picked up lube, or we've done different things, which isn't in this, perfect performance of what sometimes adult content looks like. And when all these 18-year-olds was messaging me saying, hey, let's make a video, to start with, I dismissed it. And then I thought, actually, why would I not want to make more realistic content? Because when I'm speaking to my subscribers online and fans, sometimes they're like, oh, well, my body doesn't look like that, or I wouldn't perform like that. And I know if I watch a movie, or if I'm watching something online and I can relate to that person a lot more, I'm a lot more connected to it and I enjoy it a lot more. So I was like, that should be the same message in the content I make. So that was where the whole student sort of content came from, and it was one of the best things I've ever started. The biggest petition started, it was over 25,000 signatures in Australia, which then made my visa get taken off me. And the comments was, yeah, she's sleeping with people underage, they're under the influence, they're not consenting. And I'm just reading that thinking, if you think your son of 18-year-olds don't want to sleep with me, then the joke is on you, because they clearly do. They are consenting, and it's more just embarrassing how poorly educated they are, what their kids are getting up to. Because if you're 18, Sleeping with an adult worker who's fully tested in a safe environment, that should be the least of their worries. So no, I never thought what I was doing was wrong. It just encouraged me to do it more and sleep with more people to show the benefit it can have. There's been adult content creators sleeping with people dressed up as schoolgirls since adult content has started. So I was like, why can't it be the woman that's the older one? Why can't, we always talk about equality and we think should be the same. Okay, well, why can't I be the one sleeping with a, schoolboy instead? Virginities is a hard one to say because some people will say they're a virgin to skip the queue and, some say they're not a virgin, but they are a virgin because they just want to, pretend they've got a few under their belt. But I would definitely say it's like, into the hundreds, maybe like 300-400.
Obviously, I want to talk about the 1,000 men.
Yeah.
Can you just talk me through the day and like the logistics of it, I suppose?
Yeah, surprisingly, it went very, very well because I was concerned at one point I was going to have more staff than people to bonk me. So I was definitely pleased when I realised there was a massive queue 2 hours before. I had security outside of the house. There was security as soon as you come in. There was then a basement, which was like they could wait, have drinks. So they had to wear protection. They got told they could wear a ski mask if they wanted to hide their face. They had to bring ID, sign a consent form. And that's as far as the sort of background checks went. We decided to do groups to start with to help with numbers and also give people an ease in because they're seeing other people. They can also watch while somebody else is taking their turn because a lot of people enjoy that. Then we went on to one-to-one and they had about 40 seconds max before we'd keep swapping. Then we a few hours into that, we went back to groups for a little bit, then back to one-on-ones, and we finished with another big group. So some of them would come in and say, hey, I'm with my friends, can we come in together? And it was just whatever made them feel most comfortable. I had to go for 2 or 3 toilet breaks. And I would the toilet was upstairs, so I'd run upstairs and I've never ran down the stairs so quickly. I've been so excited to get going again because I'd see all their faces, of there's no other way of explaining it other than just pure happiness I got from that day. So there was no point I wanted to stop. And even when it ended, I was happy because it had been the most successful day, everyone had an amazing time. But I was okay, wow, I want to do that again. I thought it'd be a thing I'd do once and not consider again. And I even joked, I was shall we make this a weekly thing? It was like Christmas Day on repeat for me. I loved it. The media and tabloids actually started this rumour saying I was rumoured to be pregnant. And then it sort of went quite viral on TikTok. Everyone was saying Bonnie Blue's pregnant from the 1,000 men. And the news started contacting me for comments. And at the time I hadn't seen these TikToks. I was look, I don't know what they're on about. I don't know what they're talking about. And then when I looked into it and I went on TikTok and saw there was, hundreds of TikToks saying I was pregnant, we decided just to reply with no comment. It was we just won't respond. And then a few days had gone past and I was actually, why don't we use this to our advantage? Why don't I hint the fact I'm pregnant? Because the media is already doing that. Why don't I actually take control from this and feel empowered from it, as opposed to letting the media run with stories which aren't correct? So I then posted a photo of a pickle covered in chocolate and tried silly food combinations, obviously hinting at the fact I was pregnant. And I worded things very cleverly to make it, like I said, hint that I was pregnant, but never once said, hey, I'm pregnant. And the plan from that was, okay, in 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to release a video to say this extra income I've earned and attention I've had from hinting at pregnancy, I'm going to put towards somebody else's IVF journey. Back when I was in a relationship, I actually tried for a few years for a child and I couldn't get pregnant. And it felt embarrassing, which is wrong because it shouldn't be like that. But as a woman, you think, okay, well, other people get pregnant or people get pregnant so easily without trying. And I'm here taking pregnancy tests, I'm doing my ovulation kits and I'm still not getting pregnant. And it really was the most lonely time because people don't speak about it. I didn't want to speak to family and friends about it because I felt like I should be going to them with a pregnancy announcement, not the fact I'm trying for a baby and it's not working. So it just felt lonely. I think the hate goes into different categories, to be honest. There's some hate about my body and the way I look. And I look at them, then it makes me judge that person. I'm looking at them thinking, a lot of them it's about my age. And they're oh God, she looks so much older than me. They've got missing teeth, the hair looks like it could do doing, and they look like they live in a terrible place. I'm how are you judging me? It's more of a reflection on them for being so miserable. I'd say the most hurtful ones, the ones about my family. I know my mum before was like, oh, she must not have a family, she must lie about having like a supportive mum and dad. And I once brought my mum along with on an interview with me, and then it was suddenly, okay, she does have a mum, so, oh, her mum failed her, or her mum must have been abused, or she must force her daughter to do this. So you really can't win. So they're the hurtful ones, but it also just showed me why even try and justify the comments, because no matter what you do, you can't win. And I don't need to win. I'm already winning by pleasuring their husbands and their son and being a millionaire, supporting my family. No, like I never had a big friendship group to start with, but no, like the people around me was the people that are still around me now. My family have lost friends from it. They've said, oh, you should disown your daughter, or why is she doing that? And I would have always told my parents, but I'd literally just started and I wanted to understand the industry a bit more myself, get on my feet a little bit so I could say, hey, mum, dad, this is what I'm doing. This is what I know about the industry. This is the money I'm earning. But that was obviously taken out of my control when a video was leaked to them, which I'm not overly mad about because they was always going to find out, or I was obviously always going to tell them myself. And yes, it was a shock because up until that point, they'd just seen me in suits working in an office. They knew I'd sort of been trying for a child beforehand and stuff. So then saying, hey, you know, I'm a sex worker was a very, I guess, 180 move. The main thing people get wrong about me is that I'm unhappy or I've got daddy issues, but I am so happy. I love pleasuring, whether it's your husband, students, college boys, anybody and everybody. So I do this because I love it, and I just wish more people was happy and less judgmental.